Heston Russell is a man we love to talk to about veterans issues, and also as a man who served this country about making sure that Afghanistan is not turned by the left, be it the left in academia, media, government, wherever, into some sort of stain on the nation. It's garbage, it's bullshit, it's not acceptable. I can use that language. I think it's late enough. It's my birthday anyway. Heston, help me out here. This question, I'm really annoyed when people, was it worth it? Just throw it out there, because the assumption of was it worth it is, well, it probably wasn't. But we've talked before about the number of, let's put this in nice simple terms, bad guys who don't breathe air anymore. That's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Evening, Paul. Happy birthday. Real men wear cowboy boots.
Yes.
And yeah, this question of was it worth it? Like, was it worth what? Don't show up 20 years after we've been in Afghanistan and ask soldiers or veterans if it was worth it. Like I keep telling people in these interviews, you know, we are deployed in the military as the ultimate arm of diplomacy. When diplomacy fails, we're there to do a job. And we're also there to do a job to then help the other government agencies and elements come in and help provide stability to that country and afterwards. And the tactical actions that Australian defence personnel conducted in Afghanistan were worth it. From removing over 11,000 terrorists and insurgents, those who were trying to target not only those in Afghanistan but other countries, through to everything else that was achieved over there, including setting the legacy that is the reputation of our Australian forces for the Afghan people and for our coalition partners that we continue to work through today. Yes, it was worth it. What was not worth it was watching the years and years of subsequent strategy dwindle as we failed to maintain our eyesight on what the end state was and what our strategic outcomes were. And now, as we hear a quiet, muffled footnote with the final withdrawal of our troops from Afghanistan, the veterans and those who are there are left asking these questions: was it worth it? Was it worth it? As opposed to our political masters who'd be stepping up and saying, "Hey, thank you for your service. You know, we failed to maintain a strategy, but we're going to conduct a thorough review of where we went wrong, and we as a young nation will make sure that we put that as the final chapter in this book. So as the next government who deploys any Australian forces overseas picks it up, has a reads, and learns from our mistakes, as opposed to repeating what has happened far too many times."
Also, I mean, you know, who knows what's around the corner, but the likelihood of being returned to that sort of desert conflict, the insurgencies, all of these things that had to be dealt with in both Iraq and Afghanistan. Do you think that they are going to become the exception to the rule, or this is the type of warfare that happens when essentially nation states don't really go to war in the way that they did, of course, in the giant global conflicts or the ones at the start of the 20th century?
Paul, it hurts countries too much to go head-to-head. Like you were talking previously with the senators with regards to Taiwan, you know, we're never going to go up directly adversary against adversary. I really doubt we're going to see people try and move in and invade Australia. We're always going to do these second or third party or proxy warfares or counterinsurgency. That is the nature of modern day warfare. That is the nature of modern day politics, the indirect approach. Not too many people do it to your face, and not too many conflicts happen to your face, unless you are a country like we've seen some others who don't mind damaging their international reputation. I highly doubt we're going to see powers go up against each other, and Australia in particular is not going to have powers go up against each other. Where we're located here in the Asia Pacific, our island girt by sea, and we need to look to reinforcing our position and our friendships in the Asia Pacific region, because as we've realised, and particularly when we're talking about adversaries such as China, Paul, like, we need to get real. While we sit here and break ourselves apart with 3-year election cycles and starting to focus on differences by birth as opposed to merit and potential, they're planning ahead in dynasties. You know, while we're spending $100 million on the gay vote, they're spending all their time and effort to building an island in the South China Sea. You know, we really need to get realistic about what is actually happening. We really need to reorientate and focus our national power where it needs to be, and stop wasting time on these conversations and on this infighting that is literally making us less and less legitimate in our military presence, let alone in our international standing.
Such a good point. We're fiddling around with sort of sandcastles and how big they should be. They want the whole damn beach. Heston, good to talk to you. Voice of a veteran. They've got podcasts, online stuff, all the rest of it. Support this bloke. Seriously, couldn't back him in hard enough. I really appreciate it. Good on you, Heston.